Hi, this is Diane Lovetobake on YouTube. And what we're going to make are cookies. These particular cookies are chocolate chip cookies, but instead of using granulated sugar or whatever other type of sugar, you use honey instead. So it's a nice alternative if you do want to make a chocolate chip cookie recipe without, say, granulated sugar. So let's get started. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to start off with a half a cup of butter, and I've had it into small pieces. I've had it at room temperature, and I believe it's easier when you cut it up into tiny pieces. Okay. Also, I want to mention before I start creaming this that the recipe itself will not be below the video. You will have to watch the video to get all the ingredients and that type of thing. And many of us that are putting on our videos on YouTube are finding people that are copying and taking our material and that type of thing. So it's just easier also for me, just for you to get the recipe during the video. So let's get this butter creamed. Now, you certainly can cream this by using your hand mixer. I like to use a stand-up because I think it's quicker and easier for the video. The next thing that I'm going to be putting in, of course, is the honey. And that's going to be any brand that you have or you prefer. So that's a half a cup of honey. And now I'm just going to beat the honey and the butter together just till it's smooth, and that shouldn't take you very long at all. Just beat it till it's smooth. I'm also going to be now putting in 1 egg that's been at room temperature and beat that in nicely. Now I just want to clean the sides of my mixing bowl here to get to the bottom. Okay, now once you get that nicely creamed, and that shouldn't take you a couple minutes, maybe 2-3 minutes or so, you're going to need your dry ingredients. So of course you're going to need 1 cup of all-purpose flour. We're also going to put 1 teaspoon of baking powder in that, and we're going to put 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And I'm just going to give that a quick stir with a spoon. And then I'm going to add the dry ingredients to the wet. And you just want to mix it well. Beat it, because I always worry that the cookie dough will become tough. So just till it's blended. Now once you do that, you're going to be putting in half a teaspoon of vanilla, just till it combines and gets smooth. Okay, now the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to put my chocolate chips in and my nuts. Now you can also, just beat that in, but I just don't want those nuts to kind of be broken up, so I'm going to put them in by hand. Now you're going to use a half a cup of chopped nuts. On this particular recipe, I'm actually using dry roasted peanuts and also almonds. In fact, they're cinnamon sugar almonds. But you can use walnuts, you can use pecans, you can use whatever you want. And then just by hand, as you can see, I'm just folding in those nuts into the cookie batter. The last thing, of course, is your chocolate chips. Now, you'll need 1 cup of semi-sweet. These particular, I like to change it up a little bit. These are espresso, so they're really dark chocolate. But again, use whatever type of morsel that you like in this cookie. And then again, just fold it in, and it makes for a really beautiful cookie batter, and I hope you can see that. Now, the next step is the longest step, because you need to put this in the refrigerator for at least 30 minutes to chill it, because you want these cookies to bake up rather round, and you want to be able to easily release these cookies with a spoon, or I'm using the small cookie scoop. So I want to grab my bowl out of the fridge, and that it's been you know, chilled, very cold for, well, this has been in actually longer than 30 minutes. Let me put this aside. And then on your cookie sheet or pan, you either need to heavily grease it, or whatever you choose to use, oil or your parchment paper. But if you don't have parchment paper, don't want to you know, use parchment paper because of the cost, then just grease your pan. And then what you'll want to do is to place them at least about 2 inches apart, okay? Now, what I usually get anywhere from is 22 to 24 cookies, this size, okay? Now, you're going to bake these cookies at 375 degrees, and they're going to take you anywhere from 12 to even, well, up to 15 minutes. Mine came up very quickly today. They were only about 12. So, you know, all our ovens set up so differently. So, you know, adjust your temperature and watch these cookies, because, you know, 15 might be just too much. Like I said, so it's a variable between the 12 and the 15 minutes. Now, once they come out, leave them on the hot tray just for a minute or two, and then place them on a cooling rack. Now, I want to show you what the cookies look like once they're baked up, and I want to rinse my hands very quickly, being I was touching raw eggs. Okay, and I'm going to grab a towel here just to dry my hands, and this is how they bake up. They do bake up to a really beautiful golden brown. I hope that you can see that. They have a nice rounded top to them, but they bake up, you know, quite evenly, okay? And I want to just break one open to show you what they look like now once that they set up. And also you can see those beautiful nuts and the chocolate chips, the espresso chocolate chips that I put in there. So let's break one open. Now, when you do break them open, they're going to be a moister cookie, but they're going to be very chewy, but they're not dense, they're not heavy. They'll actually melt in your mouth. These cookies are great for dunking, you know, into milk or that type of thing with a cup of tea or a cup of coffee. They really are delicious cookies, and using honey in the replacement of sugar. Well, I want to thank you for watching Diane Lovetobake on YouTube. And as a reminder, please watch my videos on YouTube. If you're watching them anywhere else, you're not watching them on a channel that I put all my work on. So I'd really appreciate you to watch me solely on YouTube. Well, there we have it. I want to thank you again for watching. If you're so inclined and you'd like to subscribe to my channel, boy, I'd really appreciate it. If you have a comment that you've tried these and you were pleased with it, well, take a second or two, jot me down a message, and I'll respond to you as quick as I can. But once again, I want to thank you for watching Diane Lovetobake on YouTube. I'll see you soon.